Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Ryan Neu, CEO of Vendr. We're going to discuss how companies across all industries increasingly rely on software to get the job done. Ryan, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks, Jill.
How much is worldwide spend on enterprise software expected to be for 2022, and what are some of the challenges in today's SaaS environment?
Sure. So Gartner's forecasting that spending on enterprise software is going to top 800 billion this year, up from about 735 billion last year, which is over 9.6% growth. And I think what it tells us is companies are buying more software than ever. And at Vendr, what we're seeing is through SMBs, mid-market, and enterprises, the amount of apps under management is ever increasing. A small business is using 100 plus apps. Of mid-market sized companies using 200 plus apps, and enterprises are using over 300 different software applications, which brings us to a lot of the challenges, right? So managing all of the software is chaotic from a procurement perspective, but it's also incredibly inefficient from a financial perspective. So as software usage is going up, that also means the cost of software expense is going up. And now if you look at the P&L, your software expense is now cracking the top 5 line item for the vast majority of companies. Right. So as spend's going up, now it's time to actually find ways to reduce the cost of software. I believe the reliance isn't going anywhere. It's now about managing the cost, and that's where Vendr comes in.
And that was my question. Where does Vendr fit in the SaaS ecosystem, and what types of solutions do you provide?
Sure. So I think of Vendr as the way to buy software. So for any company that is reliant on software, which is increasingly becoming every company in the world, we are the way to buy it. So our product does 3 things for our customers. We help you find the best software products, buy it at the best price, and manage it in a system of record.
And what differentiates Vendr from other companies in the space?
I think it comes down to 3 things. It's the data, it's the people, and it's the products. And so from a data perspective, our goal is to help our customers understand what other people like you are buying, understand the sentiment of products, and understand the expected cost of products. And as your stack is ever increasing, the quality of data is incredibly important. So Vendr's only 3.5 years old, and we've already processed over $1.5 billion of spend through our system across hundreds of companies, over 10,000 transactions, and across over 2,000 SaaS sellers. What that means is we understand what people are buying and what they're not buying. That data helps our customers make better decisions and save more money. From a people perspective, we have a team of expert buyers who are specialized for top categories. For example, if most companies buy a CRM, at Vendr, we have a category expert to help our customers guide through the purchase of a CRM application. And from a product perspective, it comes back to that system of record. You could think of Vendr as basically like a CRM for your applications. So it's tied into all of your accounting systems, automatically pulling in and organizing all of your spend, identifying redundancies in stack, et cetera. So it simplifies the life for the CFO and the life of a procurement department.
And Vendr recently announced $150 million in a Series B round. What will that allow the company to do?
Keep growing, right? And so again, just over 3.5 years old, we've raised over $200 million so far. And I think the reason for that is because we're a guaranteed way to save money on software. With the funding, we're going to keep growing. We're doubling down on international expansion, and we're also keeping an eye on additional M&A. We completed one of our first M&A acquisitions earlier this year, and it's been a huge success. And so we're going to plan to continue to grow in that way.
And what's the top priority for the business in this economic climate?
Saving money. Right now, every single CFO is should be taking our phone call, right? Everyone's looking at their cash balance, everyone's looking at their margins, everyone's looking at their runway. As software is increasingly climbing its way up on the P&L, it's time to actually ensure that every dollar spent, we're paying the right price. Software is highly, highly variable, right? The gross margins of software companies are typically really high, which means the price also tends to be variable. Oftentimes, the price is dictated about the time that you buy it. Maybe it's end of quarter, maybe it's end of year. The scope, oftentimes software is usage-based or license-driven, and oftentimes it's the salesperson you're speaking to. Those variables make it really, really challenging for companies to actually get the SaaS they need when they need it at the fair price. So Vendr's a one-stop shop to do that.
And finally, Ryan, what's the longer-term outlook for Vendr and the SaaS space in general?
Yeah, and we're here to fix sales. So my background is in software sales. I spent years and years selling software. I never understood why it was so hard to sell a great product. And what I mean by that is typically, as sellers of software, it takes like 90 days on average to close a deal. You can buy a house faster than that. And only 25% of the deals that you're trying to sell actually close. So as sellers of software, we're incredibly inefficient. Our entire thesis is we can fix sales by first changing how people buy software, then changing how people sell it.
All right, Ryan, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thanks, Jill.